It does happen way more than it should. That's the
I
horrible
blame
part about it.
Brian. I
Blame Brian.
blame Brian.
Alrighty. I think we're good to go whenever you are, T-Bone.
Okay. Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Midday Rush. My name is T-Bone, and with me, as always, pushing buttons is Fluffy Hobo.
Hello.
Fluff, you have anything to say?
Happy Friday, everyone.
And in our third chair, being as wise and grumpy as always, we have Brian.
Come back with a warrant.
I need that as a floor mat.
I love Brian's grumpiness today. And today we're going to be talking about, well, Fluff, what exactly are we going to be talking about today?
Well, let me pop this screen up here and I'll show you all because I kind of forgot. The big news I seen. Tennessee elects its first transgender lawmaker. I saw this just pop up before we went live.
Oh.
In
First
Nashville.
Transgender lawmaker. So this is a born. So explain to me how old this person is and what's going on here.
She is 57.
So she is 57. So she was born. What? He transitioned from what to what? I'm assuming male to female, but
I'm assuming that as well by the photo.
By the photo? Okay, yeah.
But I honestly couldn't be sure.
Okay. So they just elected the very first transgender lawmaker. Okay, so
Metro Council.
What?
Yeah.
To what?
She's elected to the Nashville Metro Council to make her the state's first transgender
Metro
lawmaker.
Council.
Yep.
And what, she's gonna be deciding laws in Tennessee?
I believe she's deciding laws for a select area.
A select area in Tennessee?
Yeah, Nashville for sure. Just I'm trying to see what it actually controls. These articles fluffing up the fact that she's part of the LGBTQ community way too much to even decide what she's going to be doing.
See, and this might be a not so hot take, but weird take, I would say. I mean, if she can do the job, why not hire her? I mean, just because she's part of the community, she may not,
It looks like it's just a county. It looks like it's just a county.
Just a county?
Yes. That's what it looks like. So she is controlling the Nashville County area. Yep. One of the 4 seats, and she got it.
Small area?
Yeah. Well, Nashville's pretty big.
We do have people trying to raise their hand. We will take your opinion, your call, and I don't know if we're gonna be doing that right about now yet.
We are going to be doing that at the end of the program, per usual.
That is correct. My apologies, Fluff.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just we'll be doing that at the end of the program. That's all. But yeah. So Tennessee, home of the Daily Wire, especially Nashville, first transgender lawmaker. This dropped. I saw this dropped as soon as I updated the Google News. Who is talking? It depends. Who is who? Who's on first? What's on second?
T-Bone, why not hire what?
T-Bone, why not hire the mentally unstable? Yeah, sure. Because the government's competent in more ways than one. Why not? Anywho.
Well, I mean, yeah, but okay.
Right. All right, well, moving right along after this thing, we'll do a palate cleanse here. Not that one. Homeland Security says growing number of people on U.S. terror watch list being encountered at the border. apparently, as of July, 160 people on the watch list have attempted to enter the U.S. through Mexico.
Through Mexico.
Yes. So,
160 people. So
as of July, they have attempted to enter
Wow.
the southern border.
attempted. So you're telling me that they got caught?
Yep.
Well, I mean, like, good thing that they got caught. How? I'm assuming it doesn't even take into account the amount of people that actually did get in, does it?
Nope. All I can think is, I wonder if this was one of those catch and releases programs. That's what I'm wondering. So I'm wondering if they were caught and then released, even though they were on the watch list.
Mexico?
It's possible. I mean, the article does not go into detail about it, but it's mostly like, hey, Homeland Security has figured out that 160 people have attempted to enter the United States via the southern border who were on the terror watch list. So, yeah. Horrible numbers. You gotta close that border.
I mean, 160 people. I mean, that doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm sure that we just had that one illegal immigrant that was just caught yesterday
in Pennsylvania? Yeah.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania. Yeah, so I mean, he killed one person?
He stabbed his
yeah,
girlfriend 38 times in front of her children. That was what he was in jail for.
Yeah, people like that, they should stay in jail.
You're right.
That's 38 times. That's excessive. Like what? She was still coming after you at number 37? Come on now.
I believe she weighed like 140 pounds. Like, yeah, no.
Okay, but like he was like 5 foot flat. Like he was a tiny person.
Still. It's, come on. So
Never upset a tiny person, I guess.
right. So this is probably just going to find everybody a funny. Despite rising gas prices, Americans feel more optimistic about inflation's future. I want to know who they polled. I really do.
Californians?
CNN Business has this article, and it says, despite rising gas prices. This is ridiculous.
Maybe New York City? Like strictly like New York City, Manhattan.
According to the latest consumer sentiment survey from the University of Michigan. Okay. No. I think anybody who's awake actually understands that the inflation is horrible. It's all right, Brian. No big deal, buddy. But yeah, this is insane. Like, I wish they had the actual survey on here that I could go through and look, but it makes me wonder, like, how stupid are the people that they are surveying for this? Because how can anybody religious look at the country and the gas prices and be like, oh yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about the inflation? Like, what? It makes no sense.
No. I definitely don't think that the people that they have polled are very intelligent. Now, did they graduate college? Probably. But that, in today's age, I really don't think that means a whole bit of a lot. Unless you want to become like an engineer or a doctor.
They surveyed the CNN staff. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Was it strictly CNN or was
no?
It like
that was somebody in the chat.
NBC?
That was somebody in the chat said that.
But like, if they did do that, would it just be strictly CNN? Because there's a lot of. Would it like? What about the Babylon Bee?
I mean, who knows? I mean, the fact that this is a CNN article, I had this up for whether it is the Bee or not, because this was my first contender when I saw it. I'm like, this got to be a fake headline. Nope. Apparently, the University of Michigan surveyed a lot of people and said, no, I feel good about America's inflation. Okay.
Especially in gas prices, yeah, that's a big no.
Right. In other news, an update on Trump. There's a special counsel that asked for a narrow gag order for Trump in the election interference case. So Jack Smith's office says Trump's disparaging and inflammatory attacks have spurred threats against witness and threatened the court proceedings. And this is from NBC News.
Are you telling me words are now violence?
Yes.
Word.
They're citing Trump's.
Don't lie to me.
They're
Are
citing.
you telling me words are now violence?
Look at Owen. Like, he just got arrested for literally saying words. Arrested and charged for saying words.
Well, the thing that they were trying, correct me if I'm wrong, the thing that they were trying to get him on was he was at the Capitol trying to cite
Instigating insurrection.
Oh yeah, instigating. Sorry,
Yeah.
That's the word that they use.
Yeah.
Instigating. Now, see, that's just some BS.
So
Sorry.
according to the evidence with it, Trump's August 4th post read, "If you're going after me, I'm coming after you," and that was on Truth Social, and that's the main what they're going for, using this against him. I mean, I don't know exactly.
The most broadest statement.
Yeah.
Like the most general, most what wide, I want broad, just not even talking about anybody.
Right. It's
specifically
absolutely weird to me, the fact that, like, well, I shouldn't say it's weird to me anymore. It's more of a black pill. What?
Can you tell me please what the First Amendment is in the United States?
I can do you one better. I will read it word for word.
Yeah. Read it word for word. What is the First Amendment? Because my brain is not working at the moment. Word for word.
Let's see here. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the exercise of prohibiting the free exercise, therefore, or abridging the freedom of speech or the press or the right of the people to peacefully assemble and petition the government for a redress of grievances.
So when I was younger, Fluff, I was taught the First Amendment just basically says you have the freedom of speech, the freedom of the press, freedom of religion.
Right.
Might forget one.
Peacefully assemble.
Oh yeah, peacefully assemble. Yeah. So that's basically what I was taught when I was in grade school. I wasn't more or less taught the word for word specifics, and now looking at the word for word specific, it says abridging the freedom of speech.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm.
Welcome to the New World Order, serving you.
Yeah, the new world order where
it's a big club and you ain't in it.
Oh yeah. That it happens. No.
Yeah.
But you know what the better part to that is? You just crash the party.
Oh, absolutely. But
crash it.
I'm gonna hopefully white pill some people here. Remember the Gretchen Whitmer case?
Oh yeah.
3 men were cleared of plotting to kidnap the governor. So
yeah, the 3 out of the like 20 people that tried to kidnap that governor.
Yeah.
And
so
like the other people were like informants or something.
Right. So there was 14 accused plotters.
Oh, sorry, my numbers were off.
Right. There was 14 accused plotters, and 10 of them were feds. 3 men.
10 of them were feds.
10 of them were feds. 3 men were cleared by a jury as to having nothing to be involved with.
Okay, wait. 10 plus 3 is 13.
Right. So there's still one guy who got charged.
One guy got charged for trying to kidnap the governor?
Yes. But his...
Wait, 1 out of 14.
Right. His trial is still going on right now because they considered him being the leader of the group, so they're after him hard. The other three men here have been cleared because of probably some kind of either plea deal, but I don't think so because the jury came out and voted and said no, he is clear, no wrongdoing, or all three of them are clear, no wrongdoing found. So I guess this is a win because it shows that there's still people out there who has reason, especially in Michigan. So that is good, I think. I think it's good.
Okay. But okay, this is still like confusing me a little bit, Fluff.
Yeah.
So what are they doing with the 10 informants? I mean,
Uh,
the 10.
So I'm not too sure what they're doing with the 10 informants, but that is seen to be seen. Of course, we're not sure what to do with the 10 informants. I mean, I'm just not really that sure.
So 10 informants, 3 guys who are getting more or less cleared, and they're going after the leader, the guy who's
Yes.
the leader. So
Correct.
it was more or less the single guy's idea. Is that what I'm understanding?
So, I'm not well versed in
Or
everything.
the 10 informants.
I am not well versed in
whose
every.
idea was it?
I am not well versed in everything that went down, but from what I do remember, it was this guy had a militia that they started. It was a Michigan militia, and it was him and about 5 or 6 other people that were in it. And then they had an outreach group, and there was more people that got involved. The more people that got involved was part of the FBI. And then the FBI guys started doing stuff. And now they're trying to they were trying to get this group to kidnap the governor. And then when they decided to go against that idea, that's when the feds raided them and charged them with plotting to kidnap the governor. So that is, as far as I know, what the whole thing is in a nutshell. And 3 of the 4 men have been considered cleared of all charges. I believe the leader is still in court for it or pending charges. I'm not too sure just yet. But that is, to my knowledge, I find this as a win. Because
You find this as a win?
yeah, because 3 innocent people were proven to be innocent, and then they're cleared of all charges. So they can go back to their lives, and we don't have to pay for them to be in jail when the Fed set them up. I see this as a win.
I would see it as a win if the leader, so-called leader, would also get off if there has been no crime committed.
I agree with you, but baby steps. Gotta have baby steps. Otherwise, nothing will go right. All right.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say, okay, fine, baby steps, sure.
Yeah.
I just personally, I never learned how to like crawl. Sadly,
I can tell.
Okay, so like I just had like casts on my legs when I was younger, so
Mhm.
like I was unable to crawl for like a really long time, and then as soon as I got them off, I apparently just like started running. So like I never learned how to crawl or anything.
That's interesting.
True story.
That's very interesting, actually. So remember yesterday we were talking about how Iran, or the U.S. is lifting sanctions on Iran for 5 prisoners?
Yeah, we're sending like a lot of money over.
No. We're unfreezing assets back to Iran.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah. Oh yeah.
So
unfreezing assets. Okay. Got
right.
it.
Well, the United States just announced new Iran sanctions as the prisoner swap looms. So we're going to lift sanctions and then put more sanctions on you. Like, come on. Like, this is terrible. Like, this is why the world doesn't trust us. All right. This is just silly. They're signing on a dozen new sanctions involved in violent suppression of anti-government protesters. Jesus.
Anti-government protesters?
Yeah.
Did I hear you correctly?
Yeah. So the Iranian people really don't like the Iranian government at all. Like, period.
Does
Yeah.
any people like their own government?
The French do, for the most part. Because
Okay.
they know how to write and get things done. Surprisingly. I believe Greenland's got, or not Greenland.
Iceland?
Yeah, I think it's Iceland. I think Iceland have their
Iceland
one of
is
the highest
green,
happening.
Greenland is icy. That's how I remember.
I just know it's up north, and we wanted to buy them at some time
Oh, we did? Did we? Why did we want to buy them?
because it's a strategic location with a lot of resources underneath
really?
of it. Yeah,
Okay, but you said we wanted to buy Greenland or Iceland?
you would buy Greenland because it is the larger island and it's mostly ice. Surprisingly, Iceland is green, Greenland is ice. Whoever-
That's how I literally just said that like not even 5 seconds.
I know, it's terrible. So apparently, I stand corrected. The French hate their government with a passion. Macron would get stabbed if he went for a stroll across France. I stand corrected. I don't really care too much for French politics. I just know, like, they usually get shit done.
Macron would. Oh, okay. Really? Is that their president?
Yeah,
That's the
I
president,
believe so. Yeah.
Macron. Okay, good. Got it. Okay. Macaroon? It sounds like a macaroon. Sorry.
Emmanuel Macron is the 8th president of the 5th Republic of France. Yep.
Emmanuel Macaroon?
Hey, macaroni.
Okay.
All right.
He's only their 8th president?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yep.
The more you know with fluff.
I just found out myself. The prosecutors are using the men who pleaded guilty as evidence. The cases
What?
against 3 men are acquitted today. Talk about this.
What?
Let me look. Let me grab this. Who is this? Oh, that
You know a
was
lot
2
of
months
French
ago.
politics? So what? So the people don't like their government? Is that what you're trying to say?
I know a lot of French politics. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. I just asked that question.
I don't know, man. I just happened to look over and read the chat. So I think I kind of want to talk about the culture war aspects of stuff. And wait, hold on. I think it is time for is it real or is it B first before we open up for the culture war.
Oh, I'm gonna be 4 for 5. It's gonna be 4 for 5, right?
4 for
That's what
5.
I'm gonna be today.
4 for
Well,
5.
no. It's 3 for 4 right now.
Right.
I'm gonna win.
You're
I mean,
shooting.
everybody.
You're shooting for 4 for 5. That's what you're shooting for.
I'm shooting for 4 for 5. Everybody.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So,
win. Just
everyone-
letting everybody know, I'm gonna win.
Everyone in the audience is allowed to play this game. I'm going to read 2 headlines. You are going to vote for which one you think is fake. Right? And I will read them off. If you think the first one is fake, you type a 1. If you think the second one is a fake, you type a 2. You are voting for the fake.
Okay. Because yesterday we were voting for the real one, so now we're voting for the fake one. Okay.
Yep. It'll change up
these rules every single time, Fluff.
I gotta
I'm
keep
still
you.
gonna win.
I gotta keep you on your toes.
Hey. I'm still gonna win. I got this.
All right.
I won't look it up. Okay.
All right. T-Bone, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Headline number 1. The dangerous rise of the supersized pickup truck.
What? Wait. What?
The dangerous rise of the supersized pickup truck. That's a headline.
You mean like the F500? Not the F450 or whatever?
The lifted Super Duty trucks. Yeah. The dangerous rise of the supersized pickup truck.
It's a dangerous rise, or the danger is in the rise?
The Dangerous Rise.
Oh, okay.
All right. That's Article 1. Ready for Article 2?
Yes, sir.
Jets file restraining order against Colin Kaepernick.
Jets, wait, what now?
The football team, the Jets. They file
yeah.
a restraining order against Colin Kaepernick.
But he doesn't even play for the Jets. Does he?
I don't know sports.
Neither do I, but I'm gonna say, yeah, that sounds fake.
So you think the second one is fake?
Yeah, sir.
Alrighty. You ready for your answer?
Yeah.
How confident are you in your answer?
100%.
Okay, well, you're right. Babylon B, the Jets file restraining order against Colin Kaepernick. Bloomberg writes, the dangerous rise of the supersized pickup trucks, because as you're driving them, you can't see children. I wish I was making this up. This is real.
But okay. They have a point with that. Correct. However, I'm almost positive that in those really, really big trucks, there's sensors on them in the front.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100%, but I'm almost positive there's sensors on them. So
yes. So I looked into this, and I cannot show you the picture of the truck. But there was a picture of a truck. Why
can't you show me this picture?
God damn it, T-Bone, I'm talking. I'm going to explain it to you. The picture of the truck is from one of the Babylon Bee's articles, actually made this article real. Because the picture was Dodge Ram releases the new pickup truck, Protester Edition. And it's a super lifted truck with a guardrail on it covered in what looks like blood spatter. And I cannot show you that truck because YouTube guidelines.
Wait, can you DM it to me though?
I can most certainly do that. I can definitely DM that picture.
I just want to give everybody my live reaction to this thing.
Let me find this photo and I will send it to you directly.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
I'm so excited for the photo.
Actually, I will send it into the chat here.
Chat.
I'll send it right to the chat directly.
Yes, sir.
There you go. And I don't want to play with YouTube guidelines, so that's why I did not show you the photo of it on YouTube.
Oh. So
that started from a Babylon Bee article. I went and dug through this.
Okay.
And that's why CNN is writing.
Wait, I have a question. Can you what if you like change the color?
I mean, maybe, but still. We'll just leave it at that. That's the perks of being in the Timcast Discord. You get to see things that YouTube doesn't.
Yeah. So join the Timcast Discord server.
Right.
At timcast.com.
Correct.
Yeah, for $10 a month.
For $10 a month.
For a VIP member for 15.
Right.
No, I mean 15 more than that, so just 25.
Yes. Has the guest been announced tonight or no? Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Has not been announced.
All right. Well, I think we're going to open up the floor to people who want to come on and talk. We'll use the last half hour to talk to our audience and see how they're feeling on the Fridays.
Salty had his hand up earlier.
Yeah, and then he went to somewhere else. But
no, Salty.
If you would like to come up on the stage, please remember we are recording this to YouTube, so try to keep your language in check. That's all I ask. So if anybody has any kind of questions or comments, or if we want to talk about the culture war that happened today, I think it was a pretty tame interview, but I don't know. Other people might.
You know what, Fluff? How about you give me your opinion as to the culture war today?
So with the culture war, with the culture war today, they seem to have had a lot more agreements than disagreements. And I think that I was having a hard time trying to figure out which one of their ideals I actually agreed with, because they were talking about child rights, as well as, you know, male, like single father rights and whatnot. So I kind of agreed with both of them, but in different ways. And I can't exactly point to an exact one thing that they said that I strongly disagreed with. I do think that, I believe her name was Kathy. I do believe that Kathy has a kind of a stick up her ass about certain things, but I can harsh my criticism from her because she talked about being in China working for one of the adoption agencies. So like that, I can totally understand how that can change somebody. Not to mention with Jeff, I can totally see his mindset of stuff because of what happened with his own son. So I can't be too critical against them because they are literally fighting their own fight their own way. And it's respectable. It really is. But I tend to side with that single fathers need to have more protections with the law than, man, I don't know, because that feels like they're giving kids rights too much anymore because of the whole trans thing. And I don't think that children should really be making decisions for themselves at that level so early on. There's an argument for 17 or 16-year-olds to make that kind of decision, but only because we can try them for murder as well in some states. And so that's why I'm kind of hee-hawing about the whole thing, because I can't have a strong position on this yet. I'm not that well versed into the whole fighting for kids' rights. But I do believe that the men need to have more rights when it comes to custody court. Sorry, that was kind of a long-winded one.
No, you're completely fine, Fluff. It definitely is needed to, you know, at least hear your opinion. Because, you know, most times we don't get to hear, I wouldn't say guys, but, you know, people's opinions on this particular topic, I'd say.
And that's just it, is, you know, due to the rise of the toxic male masculinity fiasco, it's hard to say for sure, like, what is really considered toxic masculinity anymore. And I know there's a lot of guys near where I live that said toxic masculinity, you mean being a dude? And like, that's just, I mean, it is what it is.
Like I said, a couple episodes ago, chivalry is, I don't want to say dead, but in today's day and age, it's
strongly discouraged.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Again, if anybody would like to come on stage, please raise your hand.
You know, guys don't open the door anymore. Like, I rarely see that, if ever. You know, even walking down the street, you know, I see a couple walking down the street. And I don't know about you, Fluff, but the more formal thing to do is have the guy walk closer to the road.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you know, I just see couples, you know, and the woman is closer to the road, and I'm just like, guys, have you not been taught, like, by your father? Like, have you not been taught, like, how to...
Something else that my father taught me, and I am married, but I still, my
What?
pickup, I know,
Somebody
right?
married you?
I know, right? So she was a real idiot. But, my best friend's wife doesn't like to drive a whole lot, and I'll usually pick her up and take her around places and then bring her back home. I still have it beaten in me that I cannot leave until she gets inside the house. And that was something that was instilled with me from when I was dating, and my father talked to me about it. Like, that's how far back it is ingrained in me to be very protective almost towards women in general. And I don't know how much I can really disclose on YouTube, but I have gotten into a fist fight before defending women, and nowadays it would have been called white knighting. But at the time, it was the right thing to do. It's just
Almost got into a fight.
almost.
Oh, no, I was just saying. I was just for you.
Oh no, it definitely was a fight. It was.
Oh.
So allegedly, I'm gonna use the
Allegedly.
safe words. I'm gonna use the safe words. Allegedly, dude was fighting this girl in the parking lot, and me and my brother were allegedly having dinner in the same parking lot. And
allegedly. Just allegedly.
allegedly. And let's just say the concrete met his face quickly.
Oh, yeah.
He tripped. He tripped.
I've seen something like that. Some people just like trip over their own legs, and then their face just like hits the concrete
Yep.
by like the wind or like gravity. And yeah, I've heard about those.
He
Stories.
may or may not have been drinking, and he fell over himself. I mean, that happens.
Oh, yeah. Because he doesn't know how to walk,
And I may or may not have been friends with the cop who came up to help him, because he was there at my Eagle Scout ceremony, and he knew me.
Oh, yeah.
So that may or may not have happened, and he may or may not have told me to get the hell out. So, allegedly.
Allegedly.
So, yeah, I've got a long history of just, I guess you would call it white knighting. I mean, but that's how I was raised. And that's, you can ask anybody and I believe anybody in almost any red state, do you believe in protecting women? And they are going to say outright, yes.
So this is one thing that I love about Jordan Peterson. He says something along the lines of, men, boys need to become a monster, become horrible. And then I don't want to say horrible, but become a monster and then learn how to control that.
Well, yeah, quickly before we go to Hailguard, I was taught at an early age before Jordan Peterson, even before the internet, you need to learn how to go from 0 to 100 fast. And that is something that I was taught.
You have to know how to go from 100 to 0 even quicker.
Exactly. The gas goes just as fast as the brakes. But Hailguard, welcome to the stage.
Hello.
I love your cat.
Thanks.
I love your cat.
It's awesome.
Just want to
Not my cat, but it is.
That's not your cat?
What was the name of the cat? I don't remember the name. Suffered from some severe genetic disorders due to inbreeding, but is an amazing cat. Had a wonderful life. But I wanted to hop in on that conversation.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah?
I believe what Jordan Peterson was saying was a good man is a dangerous man, but one that knows when to be dangerous and when not to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Roughly, give or take, but that's along the same lines.
Right.
But I was also going to chime in saying, like, the unfortunate thing is a lot of the positions where kind of like the white knighting where you're protecting individuals, unfortunately anymore, that's starting to get punished.
Oh,
So
yeah.
a lot of people are starting to like
Bow
it's
out.
not my problem, not my business. I'd
Yep.
rather not get involved. So it's unfortunate, but that seems to be the case anymore.
Absolutely. And I think that this is also a good point of like good men doing nothing lets evil run rampant, or however that quote goes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
The
if
banality
I
of evil.
could, sorry.
Welcome, Joshua.
Welcome, Joshua.
Hey.
Joshua.
Thank you. Yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys a perspective that most people don't get. So I actually have a single dad's outreach down in Southwest Florida, and it took me 13 months to be my daughter's life, and I kind of was unfortunately entrenched in the family court system, and really we need a total family court reform. I mean, just down to the psychologists that the courts use have immunity. Locally, our supervised visitation center is ran by an attorney.
Um,
that's bringing them into cases. Um,
are you
we
able to
also
shout out that organization real fast?
sure, yeah, that's let me see. Give me 1 second.
Is it the Young Fathers of Central Florida?
No.
Okay. I'm
Uh yeah, give me 1 second.
okay.
Take your time. Just don't take too much.
Yeah, we got 15 minutes still. No
We
big deal.
have time.
As he's looking that up, I can totally agree with what he's saying about how the systems are built against fathers trying to maintain their connection with their kids.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Like,
it doesn't seem to matter whether you're in a red state or a blue state. It's that way either way.
well, I mean, okay, go ahead.
So the organization is leecountyparenttime.org. You can look up directly on the board of directors. The director is Danielle Seitz. She was actually my daughter's mother's attorney. When I brought it up to the courts said that I had to pay the difference. The reason that my daughter's mother was there was because she has mental health issues with hallucinations of visual and auditory. And I literally was in the parking lot watching my daughter not get supervised as they were bringing this person in as a witness, which fiduciary duty, obviously you can't speak or you can't do damage to your client. So it's yeah. Also in Florida, we have what's called a family law advisory group. If you look at section Supreme Court Order 1410, uh, in that they have a recommendation number 8, which is Family Law Advisory Group, which Family Law Advisory Group is supposed to be basically like a school board meeting for anybody and everybody, whether you're a teacher, a psychologist, whether you're a coach, whether you're a grandparent, anybody is supposed to be able to have a conversation with the courts. And the reasoning was 40% of court filings back in 2001 was family law related. 70% of them were refiled. And because they were refiled, they realized that clearly the first decision was not sufficient. Um, and they needed to have the judges be able to understand the ramifications of their decision making because in court, in family court, there is no Supreme Court of Florida or said specific state. So what happens is it literally gets passed to the judge next door if you have an appeal, and they aren't shoulder checking each other. And unfortunately, because uh, legislators never had it written how often these super family law advisory groups were supposed to happen, the courts have never followed through on it, even though back in 2001 the Supreme Court designated $200,000 for a pilot program. But me, along with the National Parenting Organization, are trying to overcome this um, and bring attention to it. I'm actually hoping to be able to present this uh, to the state on Tuesday. They're having a hearing about a grant that my nonprofit applied for, and unfortunately, it was supposed to be for grassroots. But again, when you don't have the boards and the legislators actually overseeing what's going on, they don't actually follow through with it, and they pass it on, or they pass this grant on to uh, DCF, which this grant was supposed to be for grassroots efforts, which is what we are, and they have gotten DCF ended up just giving it to national organizations. So we're filing an appeal against that and hoping we can actually serve our community. But the biggest issue is there's just so many loopholes. I have studied a lot of these, or so many gray areas that they don't actually put into actionable functions. And because it's not an actionable thing, you just don't have it being implemented. So we really need to get good legislators that are going to make these laws be implemented. I want to see it being done once a month in my state, and I think that other states could definitely benefit from that. Um, we also, I believe, that we need to give dads the right the moment that DNA is determined. In my case, it took me 13 months to fight for my daughter, and at 13 months, I never had a single overnight because the courts just was trying to vet me and trying to figure out how to introduce me to my daughter. But it's because they just don't have time. We need to level the playing field so that way children are not weaponized. And the weaponization is really what causes a lot of this trauma in these homes. And it really needs to be leveled out. Um, Back in 2021, there was a gentleman in Florida that his fiance ended up going to the hospital to give birth to their second child. And and they were engaged for 3 years. They were in an 8-year relationship, and his fiance had some complications due to COVID. They rushed her to the back. She slipped into a coma, giving birth to their second child. It took that father, or she ended up unfortunately passing. It took that father 2 DNA tests, 2 lawyers, and 4 months with the state telling him that his child may be going into foster care because they could not get the file on the judge's docket soon enough, and the child had to actually they couldn't keep the child at the hospital anymore, and they needed to figure out if the child should go to next of kin, or if the state should actually introduce the father into the home.
That
Yeah,
is
so
totally
in
asinine.
cases like that, I would just say DNA test. Every like DNA test should be it. Technology is so good nowadays that we should be able to have in all states DNA test required
Oh,
to figure out whether or not that is the child.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it shouldn't be
agree.
left to the judges. The
So,
judges should not be deciding how to implement the fathers, or the children deserve both parents, and to have the argument that we need to implement or introduce the child into one home or another is not equal rights, and
so,
that's harmful to the child, in my
so I'm
opinion.
going to actually stop you right here and say you and Corville, looks like in the chat here, need to connect to each other because it looks like that you're trying to run for Florida district. And then Corville
Yes,
says that his friend's dad is highly connected in Florida.
I am.
Try
Okay.
and get something together there. You might find some insight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
This is how
Yeah,
we
there's.
make connections here. This
Yep.
is good.
Timcast Discord.
Yes. That would be something to see. Oh man.
Yeah, it's just a dirty market too. I mean, most people, I don't think anybody, unfortunately, has the balls to talk about how dirty the courts are. We need to really inform people about transparencyusa.com as well, just so people can start looking at where the funding comes from for most of these politicians. Most of these politicians are not GOP candidates. They're not DNC candidates. They're just people that sign up and get a lot of money from corporations and PACs, and the GOP doesn't support their candidates for the most part. Um, I mean, I'm a libertarian, so I've actually been able to go to the GOP and the NAACP, and the truth is when I'm running on family and community. I think that we need to fix the family court system, and we need to have our law enforcement, EMS, and fire doing block parties for New Year's and 4th of July rather in neighborhoods. Get to know the community, because government, unfortunately, is a band-aid, and it doesn't actually fix the problem. We need to fix the problem, which is the lack of community and the lack of family, and we need to start holding each other accountable, and then we can downsize government. But just by going in and trying to blow it up is not the best tactic, in my opinion.
Oh, totally agree. No, I really strongly push back against completely offloading the government entirely. I do, however, agree with total and utter reform. It is a different way of, I guess, restructuring the government. That is one way that we can see it get done. But totally outright getting rid of the government and then rebuilding it, that is going to be something that I don't think anybody really has good answers for, because it's going to be a horrible show. You
Yep.
think things are bad now? Get rid of the government and people think that the laws no longer exist. Then you'll see something horrible.
Well, I mean, the truth is, government is just is only as powerful as people give it authority. I mean, you look at Chaz, or you look at, I mean, the government
Chop.
can't chop, Chaz, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't, if government stopped doing its enforcement, I don't think that we would actually see as much crime as most people think. Um, I think that I mean,
That's
I live
fair.
in Florida. We just had, every time we have a hurricane, I mean, our law enforcement are everywhere, our EMS are everywhere. I mean, people are still stopping at stoplights and making it a four-way stop. I mean, we actually, as civilians, are able to manage ourselves. I think that the problem is that most people get indoctrinated into believing that government functions efficiently at something. But in reality, it's really community, and the less community, the less functionality. I mean, we can't afford to throw enough money at government for them to actually fix problems.
That's very fair.
It, if I may interject,
Absolutely.
it's well, what is kind of being set up there, and which I think is in full force now, is you're talking local governments versus federal government. Like, maybe it's me being a bit black pilled, but I do not see that the federal government is representing the people that they claim to represent. But the
So,
local governments in
No.
especially like the Midwest area, they're trying to, but I still don't like. I live in Iowa. I'm part of that. My local area, like county, is fairly well representative, but then you go to state and it gets less and less and less. By
right.
the time it's federal, I don't
Have
believe
you?
they represent the interest of the people.
So let me ask a thought experiment here. Uh, with that in mind, would both of you be in favor of expanding the House of Congress to getting more representatives in there for each state?
I
Um,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
We'll start with
um,
Josh.
so what I would say is honestly, I think that we really need to get down to the basics from a federal level. I mean, I think we need to do we need to have a convention of states or something. And I mean, if we're the Bill of Rights has been thrown out the window, and uh, we need to rewrite the Bill of Rights, or just say, hey, we are gonna certain states are gonna actually function in a constitutional standard, or we need to rewrite them and have some kind of commonality. Um, but I don't like the idea of representatives. I mean, when
All
you
right.
look at like U.S. transparency, you aren't getting represented. I mean, our state or our local law enforcement is funded by New York garbage companies. I
Right.
mean, you when you have money and you have the ability to pass money and you have power, I mean, here's really my best way to explain it is government. The root word of government is govern. The
Right.
definition of govern is authority over. We
Correct.
claim to be a free country. How can we have a free country when we're continuing to argue for more government or more representation? That's still more government. That's still more. We need to get back down to community and self governance and having freedom. But
Right.
yeah, so I don't believe piling up any more government would be. We need to just have what we have be functional.
Right. So we are closing up here. We got about 5-ish minutes until we're done. Helgard, would you like to finish your thought on your idea, if you would be in favor or against of improving more representatives in Congress to help fix that issue of not being represented correctly?
Yeah, so I believe I kind of follow along with Josh's idea of like, I don't think that's going to solve the problem. Just
Okay.
adding more people to the pool does not necessarily mean representation is achieved.
Right.
And again, I'm talking more on the federal level.
Exactly. I was.
really
This
don't
was
think there are very many federal politicians that actually represent their constituents. I think they get into DC and then almost always get corrupted, whether they try to or not. I feel for those politicians there that are honest and doing a very good job at what they do, because I believe that they get completely overshadowed by the corruption and the horribleness that is politics in DC.
right. I mean, it is just a thought experiment, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you both being up here and giving me your honest libertarian ideals.
Can I give you one perspective real quick?
Yes,
Look
30
at the
seconds.
school boards. Look at the school boards, and we have school boards that are how many people big and how effective are they in the communities. We can have the representation. We even have school board meetings, but not necessarily do the school boards even represent what most parents even want or most of the community even want. So it's not about the representation or more people on the board. It's just they aren't functioning, and we need to be able to get them out.
All righty. I appreciate you gentlemen for being here. We are going to come
Thank
to
you
a
very
close.
much, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us up here.
Absolutely. Again, remember, we do this every weekday. I will move you back down to the audience. Alrighty. We're going to be wrapping up here soon for the
But before
IRL
we
game.
wrap up,
I was to say, but the before IRL people will be up here in the next 3 or so minutes, and I see
But
a
before
couple
we
of them are
do-
in the audience right now. T-Bone, do you
Before
have
we
any
do-
socials you would like to shout out?
no. Are we gonna do the wise words today?
I mean, Brian's not here to do the wise words of the past. That's what we usually end on, so I guess I'll come up with something. You should really check your dryer and make sure the lint is removed out of the back of it, leading out of the house. Too many fires start that way.
Nice.
That's the
I
best
love
thing
it.
I can think of right off the bat. But yes, we will relinquish this stage, and in 2 minutes, 2-ish minutes or so, the before IRL will start. This has been the Midday Rush, and I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And thank you for being here. Alrighty.
Yeah. No. Bye, guys. My name's T-Bone.